So I'm recording this again because the audio on my end was so bad last time that I couldn't understand the directions. And it is a shame because we had some really good questions from the class. So I'm going to try to cover that in here as well. But this is just a crash course into the math that you'll be using in chemistry this year. And it's really the secret. It's an easy secret, but it's so easy we'll forget in stressful times. Basically, you can use algebra skills and maybe a little statistical analysis, but it's going to lean very heavily on algebra. Specifically, we're going to do ratios, which is just division. We're going to talk about percentages, and we do need to know about significant figures and scientific notation. And the secret rule for significant figures is you take the lowest number of significant figures that you have in the problem and you apply that across the board because it's about your accuracy and precision in measuring. So if you divide and multiply numbers and you get that like long dot stream, but you only had like 1.2 in the problem, that's 2 significant figures. You'll be set. But now for the important part. First, you read the problem. Don't even do anything but read it. As you're reading, you want to find the given values, the information that you're given in the problem. And sometimes there's more information than you need. So the last thing you need to do is find the units for the answer. So you want to find out what your kind of target is. So you have a bunch of given values and you find a target. So we're going to practice this with one of the example questions from Apex. But here it says, a solution of calcium chloride contains 35 grams of calcium chloride in 425 grams of water. What is the percentage by mass of calcium chloride in the solution? And if you look at this, significant figures, you've got 1, 2, 3 here. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So the answer is going to be in 3 sig figs, and they're all in 3 sig figs. But when I look at this, I did some highlighting for everything here. So I'm given the grams of calcium chloride and the grams of water, and I need to find a percentage by mass. And this starts to get kind of interesting because when we do a percentage, we know we're going to divide the one number by the total, by the bigger number. So the first thing we have to do is get 35 plus 425, which is going to be equal to 460 grams total. And from that, then we're going to need to divide that 35.0 grams of CaCl. And I'm going to give you a nice dividing line here by the 460 grams total. And the answer that spits out is going to be, and you can punch it into a calculator, but if you do it the wrong direction, you get a number that is far greater than 1. So that is one of the things that you should always be aware of, is just kind of ballparking what your answer needs to look like. So when you do just make a kind of arithmetic or procedural error, you notice that it is off. But that's going to be 0.07608. So we say equals 0.07608, which comes out to, right there, 7.61% when we round it. And so we're going to get answer C. One of the things we talked about in the class that was tripping people up was that having to add everything together. So you do have these two things in a solution. So you do have to add them together. And I think answer A here is a distractor answer if you don't add the 35 and you just divide. But you want percentage by mass from the total. And the significant figures, that's going to throw you for a little bit. And once you get into the groove with it, it's pretty easy. And that is just the description of what we need to do to find out for the percentage of mass. We need the total. We need to divide by the total mass of, divide the total and the mass of the calcium chloride, and the number is going to be less than 1. And if you set it up the other way, you get a number far greater than 1. Oh, and this was for the rest of the class. It is somewhat immaterial now that we're done with the chicken bracket, but that's it. That's the secret really for everything, is to just read the problem, and you don't have to highlight like I did, but kind of track down what you're being given and then what you're being asked. There will be an equation sheet for almost everything you do in life, not just in school, so you don't have to memorize the equations, but what you do have to know is which procedure is appropriate in which place. And that's it. So I hope this review has helped you out.